Hey guys, here again with my 1985 Chevy C10 with an OM606 diesel engine. I didn't think I'd be doing another video. My videos are not getting a lot of views, so for some reason. So uh, I didn't think it was worth the time, but here I am. Maybe the last one. I don't know. And I didn't see myself making this change that I'm about to talk about, but yeah, I am. As you maybe have seen my previous video, I had gone from automatic 4L60 to this NV3500 transmission. Been driving it for a while. I did like it. I liked it a lot. The uh, the gear ratio of final 0.73 gear ratio with my 390 in the rear and 33-inch tires was working really good. Um, the, Here's the transmission adapter that I had initially purchased for the 4L60E automatic transmission, and I heard that it could work also for a manual transmission, and it did. It did. I just had to get that flywheel from a 1985 Chevy, and I ended up getting that pressure plate, a new clutch, and it was working really good. But one thing is that there's a little bit of whine, uh, barely noticeable to be honest. But so everything was good except that uh, my friend, where I run into this transmission. It's a 716. A 716.628, I believe, this specific one. And I ran into it. It's actually my friend who offered it to me for free. He said, "Why don't you try this transmission? It's 6 speed, and of course this one bolts to the straight to the 606 motor." So I said, "What the hell? Why not?" So here I am. That, as you can see, the NV3500 has just been removed. I removed it, and I'm about to install this new one. I think I got everything I need. Well, for one, the well, it's right here in front of me. I'll be using the same master cylinder. All I had to do was purchase this adjustment. There you go. Had to purchase this thing here. Is it works on the master cylinder that I had on the NV3500. This guy right here. So this is the part that I got, and it in the back it's a AN3 or 3AN, and then I got this hose that I bolted to the right here, the hose on the transmission. So I have that. The big thing now is the shifter. The shifter, I do have the shifter that came with the transmission, by the way. Let me go ahead and show it. That's the shifter. I have it. It's a little long, so I'm gonna need to cut it, make it shorter. But before I do that, another shifter that was given to me, this guy right here, I started fabricating, cutting it to the length that I think is gonna work. And so this, what you see here is it's a test prototype, just to see if this is gonna work. I wanna figure this out really good before I go and cut a hole on my on the cabin, on the tunnel. And this is, and by the way, the transmission, this comes from a gas motor. Okay, so this does not have the 15-degree tilt that the OM606 engine has. So you see a tilt there, but that's because I've rotated, I turned it a little bit. So to compensate for that, my idea is to, as you can see here, offset the shifter a little bit. And then once again, this is the concept, just to see how it's going to work. And this is to gain back the 15 degrees of tilt, so the shifter is not so far away from me, from the driver. That may be final placement. I had tried as far as this area to get it as close as possible as I could, but the length, that thing there, didn't quite like it. It wasn't shifting very nicely. So by the way, while I'm here, this is hard to see because my welding is just horrible, and I've done that about 50 different times. But that's just a swivel, because this thing it's got to have some flexion. So, but it's working right. It's working the way I have it there. Sorry, the fixing my camera. Anyway, I'm shifting with my left, but just so you can see, it works pretty good. Very smooth. I don't think I'll have any issues. That's first and second. Now, there's a possibility I may stick with this shifter or something similar to, and not use the original that came with the transmission, depending on how things work out with the final position of this, etc. Meaning that I may not be using the cable that comes with it for reverse, etc. A cable that is controlled by this rod. So instead I have that spring there. Let me not talk about it too much, because for now, once again, it's just a test. But it's doing a real good job at keeping me from accidentally landing into reverse from first to second, or whatever shifting you might. This is making it really hard to accidentally go into reverse. So that looks like it might work for me. While I'm here, and again talking about the 15 degrees of tilt, this is what I've done right there to go back to level, basically, on the transmission mount. And the concept, just to show you the idea, this is where, again, I'm gonna weld this real good. I think this will be my final bracket, I believe. Just gotta clean it up, paint it, make it nice, but that's where the transmission mount is gonna go. I have the drive shaft already. I've been using a two-piece since I did the NV3500, and all I had to do, I took it to a shop, and I had them redo. I had them resize it for me. This was the front piece, and it needed to be elongated a little bit, and so we also went ahead and put this flange, or whatever thing this is. As you can see, I don't have a yoke in this piece of the transmission. That's what the drive shaft guy said that I could do. I thought that I needed a yoke, but he says I don't. We'll see what happens. But that flange there, of course, is going to bolt straight onto this guy right here. And I'm sorry, I keep having Zoom problems, but there you have it. So now let me show you the flywheel and the pressure plate, which are already installed on the motor. So here's the OM606 flywheel that I removed, and those are the crank sensor tabs that I was talking about, and this one has 6 of them, where the new one that I'll be using has 58. Yeah, there's the transmission. By the way, I wanna say that I very strongly recommend for anybody that wants to try a manual transmission rather than automatic. Highly recommended. Whether it's a Chevy or anything else that you may consider, such as that Mercedes. But and by the way, This here that you see is available if anybody is interested. The kit, the transmission adapter, which will work both for automatic transmission, whether it's a 4L60E, a 700R, you name it, or a manual transmission, whether it's an NV3500, NV4500, a T5, anything that bolts to a Chevy, you know, including this brand new pressure plate and friction plate and the flywheel, all of that if anybody's interested. Looking at the new transmission that I'll be using, once again a 716 6.628 from a 2004 C230 compressor that you're looking at here. I wanted to show you this is what I used to get some flexion here on the shifter linkage. It works really good. I'm holding the phone and I'm shifting with my stupid hand, and it works really good. So I think I'm gonna be fine. Once I install it and everything is exactly where I want it, I'm gonna redo this piece and do it nicely with new parts. I'm gonna paint it and hopefully do a better job welding. What else? Yeah. Anyway, that gas transmission is straight. Where this one that you're looking at right here, this came from a diesel engine with the 15-degree slant, so you can actually see it. You can actually see the slant. This bolt roughly aligning with the very top of the transmission. That's 716.649 that you're looking at. Where this, the .628, does not have the tilt. You see this bolt here is farther from the center, the top of the transmission. And once again, the way that I'm mitigating that or compensating for that is just simply this, I don't even call it a bracket, but just so I use that to level the transmission mount. Oh yeah, show you real quick. This guy that I fabricated will bolt to the bottom of the cab, and I have another bracket to bolt that. So anyway, now I'll go ahead and install this, and I'll add a little more video footage once this thing is installed. All right, there it is installed. I've already drove it a couple hundred miles. I like it a lot. I don't have enough space on this video to show you how it's driving, so let me do a separate one. I'll do a separate video giving a little more details and showing it driving. Thanks.